Alright, so what is up? Today we're going to be covering the this broken method for making money right now. And I feel like this is so overpowered, it feels like quite literally a glitch, and obviously on top of that we'll be using a literal glitch to literally make you billions inside of Grow A Garden. Now do note we are close to 150,000 subscribers, so if you could subscribe that would be nice, because then we are once again getting really close, and I will obviously have information in regards to a giveaway later in the video. Now, starting off, what we're going to be looking over is the reason why this thing is overpowered. So first, obviously you need to get the sunflower. So to obtain the sunflower, I currently don't have one, but I do have a website calculator that shows you like the sell values of all this stuff, right? But if we come over here, as you see, the shop usually always has these in it, so the flower seed packs. So you should be able to buy it from this. As you see, it's a 0.5% chance out of this. Now, this is way rarer than the percentage for the moon blossom, which is one thing to note on why I think this one's pretty overpowered. So the moon blossom one is not this hard to get. Well, wasn't this hard to get. I only have 2 of them, right? They're also nowhere near as high as this one in sell value, and I'll go over that in a second. So first things first though, you can obviously buy it from the shop, which from the shop, it's going to have a same percent chance, but with a note, there's a higher percent chance to get this thing. This thing then re-rolls and gives you the rainbow plant variant of that, which is something I really do like for cosmetics, and there is a 7% chance to get this, so way more common. And whichever one you get, when you place it down, it's going to have that rainbow variant, which is pretty cool. So whenever you have that, pretty much what it does is it'll give you a higher percent chance to get a rainbow variant of that plant, which is pretty cool. I mean, definitely considering, you know, you'll just have like a huge RGB eyesore in the middle of your base. But once you obviously have obtained this, so I am doing obviously a giveaway, and if you are wanting to win the giveaway, I'm giving away 10 of these packs. Now probably I can give you the cosmetic crates if you want that as well. I'm giving away just both because they're equal value if you're weird and want cosmetics. But anyways, to enter into the giveaway, simple, all you gotta do is subscribe and comment your username down below. I will check if you're subscribed when you comment your username, and you can't just subscribe and expect to be put in, so you can't do one or the either. So make sure you do subscribe and then comment your username, and then I'll add you to the giveaway poll. And the next thing we're going to be looking at is obviously why you should want to grind for this. So over on the website, obviously this is my own website, there's sell values and all this stuff on it. You can see, say for the moon blossom, right? The moon blossom's base sell value is 45,000. Now if you want to see the candy blossoms, this one is 90,000. Now if you want to look at the sunflower, this one is 135,000. You get what I'm pointing out. This thing is absurdly rare and sells for way more than a candy blossom, by the fact that it's like 1.5x more than a candy blossom. So not only are you going to make more money out of this thing, but you're also like, you know, it's now. So most players can actually get this rather than like the candy blossom where only really exploiters could get this. Now, if you are wanting to grind for this, what you need to do is, if you're free to play, obviously you need to grind the pollinating mutation. The best way you can do this, to grind the seed shops and the pollinating mutation, what you need to do is collect all the pollinated plants if you can. And so you can set up your garden to grind these. I would recommend having higher plants that usually have a bigger base kilogram weight. So like beanstalks pretty much always have at least 10, because I think the base for a beanstalk, if I check my calculator website, the base for a beanstalk is 9.5 kilograms. So most likely you're by default going to be able to get the one usually over 10, meaning you just get better value out of it. Now the next thing to point out is if you do those, like say with this, right, you start pollinated, you could hypothetically AFK right here where you're like spamming E and then clicking like this, and what'll happen is it'll spam fill up the thing and then collect it. So if you have a full inventory of all these pollinated plants, this will just make sure you can AFK, like spend those pollinated plants. Additionally, you can also AFK buy the seed packets. So what you can do, or if I can just get over there, this will allow you to AFK do this as well. So AFKing is like, you know, the big majority of why this is going to be easier. The AFK variant will allow you to, so if you come over, what are you? I'm the queen bee, I trade honey for items, I know. Okay, so what you're going to do is when I trade honey, and you're going to pretty much just literally AFK, click, and you can just scroll through and buy whatever you want. And you can just by clicking on the top part to scroll. So if you wanted a bee egg, you could buy a bee egg. If you wanted a honey sprinkler, you could buy a honey sprinkler. And you just go through, and you should be able to click through all of them, and then click through and buy all the ones you want. And then you can run that AFK. Now I would only recommend buying the like very specifics, because once again, if you were to AFK this like all night and you have like recommended at least 2,000 to 3,000 of these points, you're going to burn through your points way faster than you probably would assume. So do make sure you are preparing for that. So the AFK for the trade-in would probably look something like this, right? Just like goes through and then boom. See, it's going, it would look like that. Now that is fairly simple, I would say, and that's probably going to be the best way you could AFK grind the points. Obviously, at the same time they're over there pollinating plants and all this stuff. And if you can, get as many bees as you can. So like I only have bees now, and if I want to get, say this one has, if you get a higher level crop, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff on it. Like this one has shocked, right? Bean. This thing right here, if I feed this to a bee, I guarantee it's going to fill it up all the way. Yeah, so for like a simple shocked plant, you're most likely going to completely fill out that plant, and it's, let's see, where is it? And it's hunger, so let me just quickly feed all my bees real fast. I'm going to use a harvesting item to everything off of this. Of course, my dang inventory's full. This is also another thing to note. Make sure when you're selling, you do not sell your pollinated, because then, you know, you can't even do this in the first place. So now with that, I can probably clear out all this crap. Then you should be able to, right, this will just be, you know, keep your bees full. You just go through and harvest some of these. I'm going to look shocked. Of course, they're all, I'm pretty sure I have a ton of shocked moon melons, so I'll probably claim those, plus a ton of other crap. So this will be better for just plant value. So we got, this is all pollinated. Okay, this is not. Feed, boom, those are full. Those will keep getting fatter. And then you get your pollinated. You can't trade them in if they're hearted, so make sure you do that. And now though, the next thing we're going to look at is once you have grinded this, you could probably grind, since this updates every hour. The sad thing is you're not really going to efficiently grind these seed packets, since I think like 1 to 2 of them, since they are always in stock, but it's only like 1 to 2. So if you AFK for like 6 hours, you're probably only going to come back to like maybe 10, maybe. That's a decent, like generously. Frick, I did not mean to claim that. Gosh, where is it? What did I just claim? Oh, it's the Celestial Frozen Shock Moon Blossom. Oh, that's not too bad. Anyways, though, with that in mind, you should be able to grind these effectively. I do believe if, you know, from the luck of the draw, you could get up to like 30 or 40 of these a day. Which, do note, if you are only grinding that, I would recommend pretty much just buying the, like, if we're gonna be honest, everything else from the shop you get is kind of horrible. I would recommend, from my experience, really just buy the bee egg, to like buy this and then click right here, click up, and then buy the flower seed packs. And then if you're on mobile or something and doing a macro like that, you can click down like this and then just click back up and then only buy the crap. I would once again only recommend like the flower seed packs, and then the, once again, I'd really only recommend flower seed packs and then the eggs, because realistically that's the only valuable thing from this. But with that in mind though, once you do have your hands on a sunflower seed, to have this thing sell for a crazy amount, what you're gonna need is obviously the sunflower. And so usually you could probably just estimate by like doubling its kilogram rate, and then say you get shocked, frozen, right, pollinated honey glaze if you have both of those, and then maybe like if it grew gold, watch this, boom, it's worth that much. And those same mutations on a, once again, 1.37 million, those same mutations on a candy blossom are only going to get you 207 million. If you understand why this is so valuable, it's absurd. And if you abuse the, obviously, sprinkler method, you could push this to make more, which is absurdly overpowered considering that is realistically doable. Anyways though, with that in mind, I would recommend, if you are wanting to grind this AFK or pop in when something specific is in stock, you should join a stock notifier Discord server. We have one, right? If you come over to Discord, you see in the stock more, you can chat. And we have the stock more, so you can see the stock every time that's in. The egg stock, the stock more will include the seed stock and gear stock, and then the weather events will also include obviously weather events that are active, like right now we have thunderstorm. It does take a second to update, so don't get, you know, pushy, so it'll probably update the second chain there's a thunderstorm, egg stock, and then other stocks. I do really like this tool. I think it's valuable. So if you do want to check that out, my Discord server should be linked in the description. And if you do also want to check out the, not weather, that's wrong. If you want to check out the calculations website I was using earlier, then I will also have this link in the description. Since this is my own webpage, my own website, I'm not going to lie to you about this. It is mine. So this will be linked in the description as well. And with that being said,